Monster
I wasn't ready.
RX93.1, and we are on Facebook Live. Okay, oops, sorry.
Yes, we are. So please go online now. Go to facebook.com/RX931. Also, if you're on YouTube Live, you can watch us and on
Yes.
Twitch TV too.
So a little backgrounder. We still have one more batch, okay, of the top 10, but we were able to interview Mr. Boy Abunda, Tito Boy, for in the showbiz world, and we were able to interview him yesterday because he was a bit busy and couldn't join us in the morning. So we are going to be playing the interview now on our Facebook Live, and then come back to do the final batch of the top 10.
That's right.
Okay.
And so here we go. Enjoy
Yes,
it.
I know. Enjoy.
Sure, you learn a thing or two from this interview. So let us do that. Gusto mo yung nagsusot?
Okay,
Let
let
us do that. It's time for us to disappear.
But
In that
they
case, let's appear first for a
okay.
second. Okay. Team Bahay, are you there?
Yes, Rika Jujuju. Oh,
Everybody, can you hear us? But I'm sure they can hear us now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Sa
so
radio daw dinig, pero on Facebook Live, no sound.
why is that though? Naman tayo sa,
What's going on?
Oh no, this is very Hazel's birthday.
Yeah,
Vibes.
Rika, what she did.
Rika,
GGG.
Rika, anyari? Why can't they hear us daw?
Tapos nag-freeze si Rika.
Rika's also frozen eh.
Oo
So,
nga,
I
ano
don't
nangyari?
know what's wrong with her.
Okay.
Okay, she restarted. And then maybe if we add her again. Gusto mo yung on-air natin to ginagawa?
I know, right? Kasi, hello.
Okay, let's wait for Rika. But, yeah, to everybody commenting on Facebook.
Yeah, thank you though.
Thank you. Yes, sabi niya sound is on. Oh, yeah, because our mics are on. But, let's try to play again. Okay, and tell us if you hear
Okay.
anything.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Much better.
Hello.
Yay!
Okay, do you guys hear
Hello, everyone.
that?
And
So, do you guys hear
okay,
this?
so this is a treat for us, and usually we're very chill when we're
quiet on
about
air,
to
so-
interview
Oh,
a
yeah.
guest on the
But
show.
this is heard on
Not
air
that we're
though,
not
right?
This is
chill,
heard on
it's just
air.
that I'm a little nervous.
I
This
think
is
we
not
all are a
good.
little.
Yeah,
We're feeling the
true.
Oo, naririnig daw.
butterflies,
Wala namang
A
video.
little
forgot
bit.
to.
We're interviewing
call
the
it.
king. The
I know,
king.
right?
I
Ito
know.
naman, the king, para namang si FPJ yung...
Okay, they can hear. They can
Okay.
hear. They can hear.
Nakakainis
Yay.
si Marky. Anong
The king talaga.
Oo. Ay,
You
nako,
know
pati,
what?
pati si FPJ nadamay.
The best of the best.
Okay, there. That's
There you
better.
go. That works better.
All right. So, without further ado, it is our great honor, our great privilege that we are joined today by somebody who, can be described and hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Our
Good
hearts are
afternoon. Thank you for having me
pounding.
here. I'm happy to be here.
No audio.
It sounds a bit strange when you're introduced as an icon.
audio,
It's
no audio.
okay, but I'm fine.
I think pag inaalis
You know,
tayo,
Because you
A
are
legend. An
legend.
icon.
let's start off with this. Do
But
you
thank you,
find
really, thank you guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
Oh no, the pleasure is all ours. But I
Ours.
guess before we start with our questions, I guess let's start off with, obviously, you are one of the best interviewers we have in on the planet. So is it weird or is it refreshing when you're on the opposite side of an interview? Like, because you're used to being the interviewer. So how is it like for the Boy Abunda to be actually interviewed? Do you find it odd?
No, if you have the audacity to ask questions, you should be ready to answer them.
Oh,
I like
Oh,
that.
I like that.
This is the reason.
Oh.
This is the reason why every time I do interviews, I'm not in the habit of telling people who do my interviews that you cannot ask me this question. I can only talk about this. I can answer anything because I ask anything.
Ay,
Yes,
may mga
love
naisip
it.
na akong questions. No, but
Got mga questions.
I know, right? No, but
You know what, Chico? I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I've got interviewed by Tito Boy on multiple occasions.
Pinapawisan ka, no?
Yeah, pinagpawisan ako. And now, mas pinagpapawisan ako. Like, this is a
Hi,
different
Marty.
level. Hi, Tito Boy. Like, even my internet conked out a while ago because it was, like, freaking out as well. But, again, sorry. Thank you so much for joining us. Go for it, Chico.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, it's like like a lot of do you realize that when people interview you, there is a lot of stress? Because remember, you're an interviewer and you are light years better than us. So is there some sort of like judgment when you're when you're being interviewed na, ay, mali yung ginawa nitong interviewer na to? Do you tend to like
Siguro, I must admit, when I was starting and I was excited and I had so much energy and I was exploring and I was searching, I continue to search. I must have been there. I may not have been conscious about it. I must have been there, but I'm more at peace with myself now. I am more stable. I know where I am. Not absolutely, but mas panatag na ako ngayon. So when people ask me, I don't listen with judgment. Neither do I do interviews with judgment. I don't sit in front of my guests with an intent of. I simply am there because I have a story. I am part of the storytelling process. And as much as I can, I have no right to judge. Alam niyo sa public speaking classes, as I teach public speaking, there's a special session. There's a special session that's devoted entirely to declaring the space of learning as a no judgment zone. Kasi kadalasan, hindi yung kaharap natin ang i-judge. We judge ourselves.
That's true. Mm-mm. Yeah.
And by doing so, and that can be expressed in many ways. Like, I'm uncertain, I'm nervous, I'm fidgety. And that is expressed in your conversation with someone or with the guests. So
We tend to
image. Yeah.
we tend to have insecurities, no? That's why it's hard. That's why we tend to judge other people,
Yeah.
not knowingly, right?
Yeah.
we-
Do you even remember
We have-
like the last?
we declare that this space is a no judgment zone. I have no right to judge anyone, and I have no right to judge myself.
I like
don't.
that. We
I love
pledge.
that.
No, but I was gonna ask. Speaking
That
of
space-
being
sorry,
nervous,
sorry, because that space allows you to be the best of who you are and allows you to commit mistakes without fear. Because when your mindset is to do what is right, and your mindset sometimes brings you to that space of perfection that doesn't exist, that's dangerous and that's boring.
amen.
Yeah,
But
we don't
when,
be
but
boring.
when was the last time you even felt nervous, like doing an interview? Do you even remember?
Now, I'll tell you something. Just before this interview, I don't feel nervous because I prepare. And preparation is not, an hour before my interview. It's not a day before I speak to you guys. Research and preparation means, the good things and the bad things you've done in your life, the good things and the bad things you've seen, the books you've read, the classes you've attended. I'll tell you something. I was supposed to do, I will say this. I have no permission from the organizers, but I want to say this because I want this out of my heart. One of my dream interviews in the world, aside from Oprah and Hillary and Michelle Obama and Kamala Harris now, one of my dream interviews is Indra Nui. She was former president of PepsiCo. She was supposed to be the keynote speaker of a conference that involves the Philippines. I was booked to do an interview with her, and they just told me now that she didn't confirm. Of course, I'm heartbroken. I'm not nervous, but I was fidgety. Just thinking about the fact I was going to interview Indra Nui, parang, wow, is this for real? I just wrote it down that one of the women I want to interview in my life is Indra Nui. Who is she? Just to share with you. Siya yung naging presidente ng PepsiCo. Tapos, one of the most powerful women. She's always on the list. She now sits on the board of Amazon. One of the most powerful women in the world. I always tell her story because it's inspiring. Isang gabi, mabilisan lang ito. Umuwi siya ng bahay after she was appointed president of PepsiCo. So she was so excited, she drove back home and she was literally shouting, Ma, I have great news for you, etc. Sabi ng nanay niya, she's an Indian American. Sabi ng nanay niya, Indra, before you scream at everybody in this house, can you go to the grocery, buy milk, because your child needs to be fed. Ma, this is not going to take me 1 minute. I just want to tell you the biggest news of my life. Blah, blah. No, go to the grocery and buy milk. Why can't my husband do it? No, that's not the job of your husband. The typical traditional Indian family. Go to the grocery, buy milk, and then you can tell me your news. So, pumunta si Indra Nui doon sa tindahan, bumili ng gatas, pinakain ng kanyang anak, went down and said, Ma, I'll just tell you the news over breakfast tomorrow. Sabi ng nanay niya, no, you have to tell me now. So sabi ni Indra Nui, without excitement, without energy, okay, Ma, your daughter has just been appointed president of PepsiCo. Sabi ng nanay niya, congratulations. I'm really proud of you. Congratulations. And you worked hard. You're a diligent girl. You studied hard and you paid your dues. You deserve to be president of PepsiCo. Smile ang Indra Nui. Pero sabi ng nanay, but stop flattering yourself that you did it alone. Remember, I prayed for you every day.
Yes.
I was just so excited to
Wow.
do an interview with Indra Nui. And then suddenly she's not available. These are the things that you go through as an interviewer, but I'm okay. Do I feel nervous? No, I feel fidgety. I can be unsettled, but I am not anymore overcome by nerves.
Oh,
So whenever you feel that way, what do you do usually? To
I-
calm yourself down.
In interviews and in public speaking, I don't say I'm going to teach you how to host. I don't say I'm going to teach you how to phrase questions. Although, there's a subject about phraseology and how to ask the right questions. I usually say I will help you discover your power to tell your story. When I am fidgety, I go back to my core, to my truth. I'm not nervous because I present myself to you guys with integrity, with dignity, or everything that I am and everything that I am not. I'm comfortable about it. Okay?
Yeah.
There's a beautiful line. Ito'y naituro ko kay Catriona Gray when she was joining Miss Universe. Remember the 2018 Thailand Miss Universe? One of the quotes that I shared with her when I was training her was a line from a poem written by Maya Angelou, which said, I come as one, I stand as 10,000. Which means that I carry with me my truth. Bisaya ako, waray ako, I'm a gay man, I have a partner, I had very difficult beginnings, and I'm not alone right now. I stand on the shoulders of my parents. I am with my ancestors who were farmers, who were fishermen. I am proud, they're courageous, they're laughing, they're probably rooting for me. I'm never alone. I'm never alone. I converse, I speak to a public, never alone. I carry with me their stories, their pride, their respect. So every time I am fidgety, I go back to myself and I say, hey, you're not alone. You're okay. Andyan si nanay, andyan si tatay, andyan ang lola mo, andyan ang mga ninuno mo, and bring them along with you and laugh. And maybe if you can, be still. If you can't relax, at least be still. Simply said, mahaba yung version na yun. If you are comfortable with your truth, whatever that is, you're okay. You'll survive anything.
Very true. Tito Boy, you have so much grace, so much poise, and you speak so well. May I ask, was there a part in your history, in your past, where you said, yes, I am going to become a host, and I will interview some of the most amazing people in the world? Was there ever a moment in your life when that happened? And do you remember it?
Every time I look at you, Marky, I miss my dearest friend Bobby, who's in Canada. But
I miss him too. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see him again. Oh my gosh, it's been so long.
Quiet,
this pandemic has kept us, in our houses. But I tend to say hi to.
I will tell you the story very quickly again. Pasensya na, sobra akong daldal, but I'd like to share with you this story. I was a high-profile publicist. I am proud to tell you that I, at one point in my life, was a publicist of RX. When RX was starting, of course. I mean, Rafi's there, Rafi Reyes, Barrero. I was the PR man of. You guys probably weren't even born yet. But I did.
Oh, I was. Oh, I'm sure you was.
I promoted Monster. Is Rafi Reyes still with you guys?
Yes.
Of course, I love that guy. I love him. I mean, Rafi Barrera and everybody there. Okay, so I was with RX. I was a PR man of RX for many years. I was a high-profile publicist. Then I became a talent manager. I started to be a manager. I had very, 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 very poor beginnings. I was not dirt poor because my parents were masipag. They were very hardworking. Pero, Marky, in my childhood, hindi ako nakakita ng TV. I didn't have an idea that there was a television show, there was a television job, there was a host, there was such a thing called host. Wala akong ideya na gano'n, wala akong konsepto. So, I didn't dream to become a host. But I got into being a PR guy, and then I went into becoming a manager. And then one day, Bobby Barrero said, would you like to do on-cam job? Because as part of the consultancy group of GMA7, my job was just to talk. So I was just talking. When I said, yeah, I would entertain the idea. I have a very close friend who's still in the business right now. Parang si Bobby, as close as Bobby. Who said, boy, usap nga tayo. Sabi niya, I am worried about you. I'm worried about your excitement. I'm worried about your excitement to go in front of the camera. Sabi ko, bakit? Ba't ka masyadong nagre-react? Sabi niya, one day, you're going to be the president of your advertising firm. One day, you're going to be the marketing guru, etc., etc. In other words, he was looking at my career path. And I was fine. Pero sabi ko, hindi. Sabihin mo totoo. Bakit ayaw mo ako mag-host sa TV? And, the famous 3 lines that I would always tell my friends came about. And he said, number 1, you're gay. If you want to be a serious interviewer during that time, you cannot be gay. you have to pretend at least that you're straight because people don't take gays seriously. Saktan ako doon. Sabi ko, I don't think that's even right. I don't think that's fair. But anyway, pangalawa niyang dahilan, sabi niya, you're waray. You have an accent. You know, you have an accent. Yung E nagiging O-E, O nagiging O. You know, you mispronounce words. And in Imperial Manila, when you're Bisaya, you're ridiculed, you're humiliated, you are embarrassed. Number 3, sabi niya, hindi ka masyadong kagandahan. It was a euphemism, of course, for short of saying pangit ka or hindi ka maganda. I was annoyed. I was hurt, to be very honest. I was annoyed. Pero, the fighter in me, and I had nothing to lose, I told my friends, sabi ko, number 1, doon sa pagiging gay, I'm really sorry, but, you know, being gay doesn't define my mind and doesn't define my heart. I don't apologize to you. Number 2, my being waray, I will admit to you, Marky, that there were long years when I wouldn't open my mouth in engagements and discussions kasi natatakot ako matapilok ang dila ko. Unlike now, that I'm very comfortable. Pag halimbawa na Bisaya ako, di uulitin ko lang. You know, but there was a time in my life when I was so worried that I would mispronounce words and people would define me because of sorry, for the F moment that I mispronounced a word. You know, when I said people or people, I'm sorry, Bisaya ako eh. What can you do? But my mispronouncing the word certainly does not define who I am. Number 3, the kagandahan, I joked about it. Sabi ko sa kaibigan ko, this one I have to apologize. I'm sorry. If you can't see my beauty, you have the problem, not me.
Exactly.
I love that.
I love
Yes.
Applaud. Applaud. And you know,
Yeah.
we can relate.
Still have a lot of insecurities. Lahat tayo meron nun. Pinaglalabanan. Pero, I had nothing to lose. Ang lakas-lakas ng loob ko, wala naman. Di naman ako kukulong pag nagkamali ako eh. Bakit ba? And in the process, you discover your strengths. In the process, you discover where you're good at. If you don't commit the mistakes, you wouldn't discover the better side of you.
And you learn to make fun of yourself as it goes along. Exactly. And that's what makes a great host. It adds to the, you know, the candidness of it all and the, you know, to make people entertained. It's great. So Tito Boy, let me ask, how has the quarantine been so far for you? What has been happening with you at home? I'm sure a lot of us have been wondering, how is life for you now that you're stuck at home?
Okay, marami. Natuto ako maglinis ng bahay, maglinis ng mga sapatos ko. I know my house is better now. I'm now in my rest house in Tagaytay.
Oh wow.
My farm in Lipa. I have become closer to the places I have acquired through the years. You know, the last time I came to my rest house in Tagaytay siguro was about a year and a half ago. Alam mo yung mga bagay na hindi mo napagtuunan ng pansin, nabigyan mo? I think I know my houses better. I know my partner better. I know yung mga kasamahan ko. I know my niece better. And most important of all, mas kilala ko na siguro ng higit ang sarili ko. I know myself better. And believe it or not, I enjoy the company of myself. I enjoy just laughing. I enjoy reading. I of course, ngayon, yung panahon na ito, these are interesting times. You know, when somebody says, "How are you today?" Hirap sagutin. May mga araw na okay ako. May mga araw na takot ako because I worry about my family in Samar. I hope they're healthy. I worry about my friends in the US. I think about my friends like Bobby. I hope they're all well. But there are days when I'm fine. There are days when, you know, I finish a book and I say, wow, what was that? You know, so iba-iba. And also this pandemic made us realize some very important things. One, that we're all equal. Hindi namimili itong virus na ito. Number 2, that we are finite. That we are all going to die.
No,
so
that's
if
true.
that is the case, my resolve is I want to be a better person. I want to be a kinder person. I want to be a more compassionate person. I want to be better in many ways. Ito yung nangyari sa akin ngayon sa pandemic.
You know, speaking of the pandemic, you know, you work in front of the camera, you work behind the scenes, you make or break not break, but I mean, you chart careers, with what happened, with ABS-CBN, with the pandemic, how everything is up in the air. I am super curious, coming from you, who knows this industry inside and out. Obviously, we can't say what's going to happen in the future, but what what do you see in the future? Like, given that it's going to be so difficult to go to the movies now, that theaters, we don't know what's going to happen. Live events, we're all hosts as well. We don't know if it's going to come back. What do you see for the entertainment industry, uh, given everything that's happening right now?
Very sad. Very sad. But let me start from when it happened. The pandemic started, ABS, CBN shutdown. I felt irrelevant. I'll be very honest. I said, what do I do? I felt powerless. Not because I wield power too, but I was, but never hopeless. I was powerless. I said, I'm not going to be able to do my shows. I'm not going to be able to produce my concerts or shoot for whatever. I felt weak in the beginning. I felt I was on my way to obsolescence. Sabi ko, ay, ito na yung panahon, malalaos na talaga kaming lahat. I confronted that. I embraced that. Sabi ko, what is the future? What is the future? Part of the answer is it's still so uncertain. The virus is still out there. But I don't want to say I don't know, because I'm comfortable with the spaces that are unknown to me. Remember, I come from nowhere. I come from nothing. So this is not a strange place for me. Not knowing what's going to happen in the entertainment business does not weaken me anymore. I'm getting myself ready. I am reading. I'm watching show.
What
Okay.
I think he froze.
Okay.
Let me
there.
see where this brings me. The future of the entertainment industry is precarious. It's so uncertain. It's. I don't want to say it's moribund. It's not going to die. We will survive this. But exactly what it is, I don't know. But not knowing excites me because masisipag tayo, magagaling tayo. We work hard, and I always say that when you travel to that space that's unknown, that is where magic happens, and that's where God resides. I continue to pray.
I love that.
Okay, so your phone. I mean, your video
Your video
froze.
feed.
Your video feed has
we can hear you, but
frozen.
your image froze. I don't know how we're going to.
There we go.
There. Okay. So it's perfect that you were talking about what's the next step, because this is very exciting news. You have news for us. So what is this little something that you have cooking up? Knowing you're about to offer something delicious for all of us to enjoy.
So
Tell us about your latest baby.
Delicious. It's going to be a Siberitic experience.
Wow.
No,
Let me look that up.
I know.
Dictionary.com.
Actually, kanina pa ako nagtitake ng notes in this interview.
Sabi mo kasi, delicious. Sabi ko, no, it's going to be a feast. No, the first time Mark Noveloso brought up the idea of me doing a podcast, of course I said yes. I always say yes. I mean, even to things that I am not familiar with. It has been a habit to say, let's find out. I mean, if I can do it, let's find out if I can be relevant in that space. Tingnan natin. So yes, I'm doing a podcast, which is going to be launched on my birthday. That's October 29th.
Oh, wow! Advance happy birthday!
And
advance happy birthday.
Thank you very much. It's a podcast. It's called "Who Are You When No One Is Watching," and it's very exciting to me. It's similar. It's similar to radio, yet it is not. I did radio for a couple of years, but it is not radio. But it is similar to radio. And I studied my way to doing it. I started to listen to podcasts. I started to read stories about podcasts, etc. And I started to record some episodes. And the first Two maybe were I wasn't very we're lousy. I was about to say lousy, but no. I did the best I could, but may kapa, I was groping in the first two episodes. But by the time I was doing the third one, I thought I got it. I thought I was very comfortable. I was okay. So that's on the 29th, guys. If find time, and it's going to be streamed on Spotify, Apple,
Exciting.
in any platform where you listen to your podcasts. I should be there. And the first three episodes, I think, have the first three episodes have me. I'm such a grammar Nazi. Would have me doing a conversation with Angel Oxin and Harry Roque,
Wow.
and I have a conversation with myself.
Oh,
How was
I can't
that?
wait.
So they will simultaneously streamed on these various platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you for asking. Thank you for asking. Maraming salamat.
So Tito Boy, how was it interviewing yourself? I mean, it must be quite an interesting experience because you get to learn more about who you are. I'm sure. What did you learn most, I guess, about yourself
It took a
during
whole
that talk?
Mark, it took this journey for me to be able to do a self-interview, a self-talk. Mahirap kasi part of it is performance. When you do a show like this one, a radio show or a video show, do not deny that part of that is performance. When people talk about truth, authenticity, it is not absolute. When you're in front of the camera, part of you is performing to that camera. Katulad din ba itong telepono, ni hindi ko nga alam, where do I look ba? Dito ba sa camera? It's a struggle. It's a struggle, okay?
It is.
Interviewing myself was tough because I had to make it look, at least, no? I mean, in terms of appearance, because feeling wise, intent wise, alam ko yung nararamdaman ko, totoo yung sinasabi ko. But I have to look the part. When I ask the question, I have to answer the question as honest as I could. Do I follow up? Do I give myself another chance to answer that question? Nakakatawa nga eh. By the time I was asking another question, sabi ko sa sarili ko, no, let me go back to the other question I asked. Because I wanted to say, fun. It's really fun, but daunting to a certain extent. Daunting. But it takes some, I have this friend, from New York who says, when you're seasoned, it takes seasoning to be able to do that. It takes some seasons for you to be able to actually talk yourself and answer your questions. Yeah.
but I'm curious about your interview with yourself. Did you ask yourself the most important question you could ask yourself, which is sex or chocolates?
Nag-ba kayo?
Believe it or not, I said chocolates. No. Of course not.
You know what?
I said sex.
I mean, I love chocolates, but
The chocolates questions. Para may konting insight naman ako. Paano ba nag-umpisa yung mga sex or chocolates? I haven't talked about this really publicly. And then it was part of the congressional hearing during the ABS-CBN congressional
Oh my
hearing.
God.
Oh my gosh.
Bishop Congressman Abante raised that question that, I have so much respect for Boy Abunda, Karen Davila, etc. But, I got a letter from a certain lawyer who said that every time Boy Abunda asked sex or chocolates, he was irritated. Ako naman, I will use this as a platform to answer that. Number one, sabi ko, ang time slot ko, I'm in the midnight time slot, late evening. Okay? I am under parental guidance. Number three, if you are violated by a question like that, switch off. Go to another channel. That's within your powers. Pero bakit sex or chocolates? I was doing a show some 20 years ago, 1999 or 2000, private conversations with Boy Abunda. I was doing political interviews. I was doing social scientists, politicians. My first guest was Deepak Chopra. Okay?
Oh, wow.
The New Age
Wow,
philosopher.
wow.
Napapansin ko, pag mga seryosong interviews, parang ang baba ng energy. Ang baba ng energy because you talk about policy, you talk about governance, you talk about all these topics. Sabi ko, and I was talking to my staff, what do we do to at least punctuate our interviews. I want to end light. I want to end happy. I want to end etc. Doon ko naisip, I own this. I own this concept. I had it copyrighted. Sabi ko, I want to do, after so many studies, etc., I said, I want to do a thing that's called fast talk. Because when you do interviews with very serious people and you ask them, love or money, you know, you put them in a very, not naman stressful, but in a certain kind of creative tension that it's very difficult to cover up, to lie. Sunrise or sunset, hindi ka mag-iisip eh. It's an instinct thing. Black or white, pink or red, lalaki, matangkad, hindi, etc., etc. So I was doing it and it was fun until I got into the sex questions, which became more fun. So when I started to say lights on or lights off, you know that cute nervousness, you know, in people. Oh, I don't want to answer. Ano daw ang dumikit? Ano daw ang naalala ng mga tao? The sex questions. I'll tell you. You know, there are people who come to my show. Sobra ang galang ko. Like for example, a certain congresswoman is very famous. Came to my show. Siyempre, kagalang-galang. Ako naman, so I asked, you're at the pearly gates, God is there. What do you want to say? Blah, blah, blah. Sunrise or sunset? I didn't ask the sex questions. Sabi sa akin, hindi, gusto ko yung, yung sa dulo. Okay, like sex or chocolates. So, that's the story of sex or chocolate. The other point to that has an educational component. Ang dahilan kung bakit marami tayong problema pagdating sa sex is because hindi natin pinag-uusapan. You know, because it is taboo. You're not supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to talk about politics, money, religion, and sex. I encourage parents to talk about sex with children in the most respectful, in the most dignified way. Because without that conversation, ang daming mali ang nangyayari, di ba? I'm not saying that I'm totally responsible for the narrative, but let's talk about things that are necessary.
And
You're preaching to the choir.
No, preaching
Every morning.
every morning.
Right place.
No.
I'm not sure, Tito Boy, about
okay.
dignified.
Alright.
Parang medyo kulang ata kami dun sa dignified part. Pero we got
everything
to
else.
talk.
You know, I love when you were saying na parang
Talking, people eavesdropping. I know, guys, you look like we're part of the choir. But in our culture, hindi talaga pinag-uusapan ng sex. Hanggang ngayon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I used to be ambassador of the United Nations Population Fund. I would go to schools, sasabihin natin, ay ngayong hapon po ang pag-uusapan natin sex. Kids would laugh. Ano kaya? We nervously laugh at the sex.
Mm-hmm.
This is a generation, I think, lalo na ang Gen Z, because this is an enlightened generation. Talk about it.
But who knows? It might evolve in the future, because now, I mean, from the news a while ago, if you've read, the Pope has backed civil unions for gay couples as well, which is a step in the right direction, especially for the Catholic Church.
I thought earlier when you were saying na parang, you know, the problem, our hang up about sex, kasi kulang, di ba? Kasi parang, you know, I think the reason talaga is that, you know how like a lot of people joke about you're not getting enough kaya masungit, ganito, ganyan. If it were not a big deal, if it were like, uy, kumain ka na? Uy, naligo ka na ba? Uy, nag-sex ka na ba? You know, it's like, if it were just said that way, it wouldn't be such a big deal, because it's a bodily function. It's like hunger, it's like thirst, it's like sweating when you're hot. You know, it's a bodily function, and there's nothing to be scared of about it.
And I'm excited for that episode in your podcast.
In the beginning, I was uncomfortable about it, but now I can. Kumain ka na ba? Huy, nag-make love na ba kayo? I mean, you can phrase it in different. You can phrase it in different ways, especially if you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage. Mark, I want to go to what the Pope said. I'm really, I pray to God and I said, I hope this is the context that it had been released. But right now, kasi, totoo yun. Tanggapin na natin, relihiyon has so much to do with our attitudes towards many things.
Exactly.
Kasi, being gay, for example, has been pathologized. But sa mga nakikinig po, 1973, tinanggal na po ng United Nations, ng World Health Organization, sa manual po, ang homosexuality as a disease. But still in the church, at least in my church, kasalanan pa rin. You cannot practice as a gay person, otherwise you're committing a sin. Today, actually last night, there is this documentary featuring the Pope, but they're still trying to find out the context of the interview. Na parang sinasabi ng Santo Papa, I am quoting with the parang, no? Because they're now clarifying kung ano ang konteksto. Na, gay people have dignity, and that they have a right to a legal civil union. Remember, the predecessor of the Pope was, a very, very an extreme conservative, Pope Benedict. So, magandang balita, Marky, para sa akin, na si Jorge Bergoglio ay nagbubukas na at least hindi na ako tinatawag bilang gay man, for example, na hindi tao, na may pangalan, may karapatan, patas, I'm equal to everyone. So it's really good news. We are evolving. I think we're becoming more human in a world where humans are supposed to inhabit. We are becoming human, and I praise God. Thank you.
Yes, it's beautiful news. If it's taken in the context that we would like it to be taken in, yes. What were you saying, Chico? Sorry for.
Yeah, so we would love to keep you as long as I have a feeling like we can do this all day, just asking you questions and learning
know.
from you. More
For
than
4 hours
anything,
for the whole show.
yeah, we feel like we're learning with a few minutes that we've been talking, but we don't want to keep you too much. So can you just, as a parting shot for all our listeners, I'm sure they miss you so much, and watching you and hearing your opinions and getting enough content from you. I think a lot of your fans will be very excited about this podcast. Can you tell us, like, what to expect? Like, is there a theme to it? Is it always an interview? Is it more of like you getting to know about your guests? I mean, what is it about? Can you give us just more details about it? So just to whet the appetite of your fans.
I love the word wet. Don't we all?
Us too.
Don't we all?
Essentially, these are going to be conversations.
Okay.
As I said, could be with a guest, could be with myself, could be, and it's going to be fun. What's going to happen, Chico, to be very honest, hindi ko alam. I don't know. I'm always excited about, like for example, when I was talking to Harry Roque, I wanted to do a political interview. I wanted to do a policy interview. Pero ayoko. Right? Before I started the interview, sabi ko, every day you talk about politics, you speak on behalf of the president. You were a human rights lawyer. I mean, what is it that we don't know about your public life? I think would be very few. So I started talking to him about who his barber is, who styles him. Yeah, I mean, I wanted him to talk about his wife. I wanted him to talk about the things that we don't know. I wanted to humanize. I mean, sorry for the word, no? I wanted to humanize his story. What to expect? My conversation with Kaki Pangilinan, I think, was one of the most, riveting. It was a pleasant surprise to talk to the girl about social media, politics, opinions, validation. Angel Oxin was a refreshing conversation. So, what is the tenor of the interviews will depend on, dependent ako, Chico, sa saan mo ako dadalhin. I do my research, I read my materials, I prepare for my interviews, but the more important component to me when I do my interviews is the present. I listen to the now. Saan mo ba ako dadalhin? You would know kung saan ka dadalhin ng guest mo, sasakyan ko yun. Unless there is that dangerous question. Are you married? Yes or no? Are you resigning? Yes or no? Otherwise, sasakay ako. I'll ride the tide. I will allow my guest to bring me to where he wants to go. And that's going to be
Wow.
exciting. So guys, that's October 29 on these various platforms. Who are you when no one is watching?
Alam mo,
Exciting.
yung sa fantasy ko, when I go like all out in my fantasies na, I will become this like super famous Hollywood star with 10 Oscar awards. Tapos alam nyo talaga, yung fantasy ko, dalawa lang ako oo na interview. Kay Oprah, tsaka kay Boy Abunda.
Salamat.
That's my fantasy. Kasi sabi ko, hindi ako papayag na interviewin ako ng kung sino-sino lang. Kailangan either si Oprah or si Boy Abunda.
You know what?
Tito
Boy,
Boy.
it was like a fairy tale when mentors is sitting on a couch reading a storybook, and all four of us are just sitting there, with our hot chocolate in our hands, just listening and learning so much from what you had to bring. So thank you so much for joining
Thank
us.
you so much.
Thank
Exactly.
you.
It was
Oh my
such a treat.
goodness.
Such a
I
treat.
appreciate this. I appreciate this. Salamat, Chico. Those were very kind words. But, just to end this, talagang hindi pala tumigil. I just want to go back to Opera and Dreams. Totoo yun. Because when you said it, I remember that very, very brief story of Opera. She was in her mansion in Montecito, and she was in her kitchen drinking coffee. Tapos nakita niya sa window ng kanyang kitchen, dalawang kahoy, 2 trees. And then she said, "Thank you, Lord." And then she started to move outside to her porch, only for her to discover that hindi lang pala dalawa yung kahoy. It was actually a forest. There were so many trees. And then she said, "Lord, thank you. My dreams will always be smaller than your dreams." So I
wow.
accept it.
Oh, that's so nice.
That's so
nice.
beautiful. Oh my
So I
god.
wanted to put it that way. You can dream up to a certain point, and the rest of those dreams are taken care of.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
Like,
you.
Thank
we
you.
never dreamed that we would actually ever have you on the show. So this is literally a dream come true. Thank you so
dream.
much for joining us, and we can't wait for your podcast on the
I'm
20th.
so
We'll be
excited.
listening for
We will
sure.
be listening.
Salamat. Salamat. From the
So
bottom of my
ladies and
maraming salamat. Bye-bye,
so
guys.
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Boy Abunda!
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Morning Rush, thank you.
We love you.
Okay,
And we're back on it.
Okay, we'll
Oh,
cut the
wow.
others.
Let's put them back in there. Rika, I think, is having another bad net day. Oh, but there you are, looking cute.
Okay, there you go.
Hello. Okay,
Yeah.
Good
I have
morning.
to turn off my video.
To
Yeah.
restart or something. Ah.
Okay.
All right, so we're all back together on Facebook
I wore
Live, like
the
we
same
said
shirt.
earlier. After this will be one final match.
Yes.
So
No,
that's
I'm good, but I just have to turn off my video for a bit.
okay. But yeah, we'll pause for a short break. Hopefully, you guys interview that. Thank you again to Boy Abunda for giving us, a little bit of his time.
I know, right?
Yeah, we
But,
enjoyed that one.
Yeah, but we'll stay on Facebook Live. Just really quick break and then do the final batch of the top 10.
Okay, don't go anywhere.
Yeah, I wore the same shirt because I thought that we were going to be it was going to be an interview that we're going to play the next day. But yeah, I took it off right after. This is just the shirt I wore to the interview.
Alam mo, Marky. Oh,
Yes.
they can't hear us.
You can.
Can you hear me?
Again. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, di ba na ano nila na you're wearing the same shirt. You're wearing the same shirt. Alam mo, magalit ka sa kanila, tanggalin mo na lang yung shirt.
Ay. Sabi nga ni Tito Boy, okay okay pag-usapan ng sex, 'di ba? So why not?
Yeah. Kung naaano sila sa shirt mo, tanggalin
I can
mo.
hear you.
Ay, parang ang tagal nung
Ay, ganun naman yung
Delay.
1 second delay. Oh no.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
so 5 seconds. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll just set it up.
We
I
are back.
agree.
Why?
Monster RX 93.1. Time for the top 10 for today. The final one for today. Thanking.
Oo, kasi ano, may internet.
I wanted to watch the podcast. Nakakatawa. Kasi nakapag-break na tayo. Nakapag-break. Tsaka lang pumasok yung comment mo. Okay. Grabe yun ha. Mega delay.
That's a mega delay.
Mega
Ibang
delay.
level delay.
It's John Santos levels. Remember that.
You can watch back to that interview.
Speaking of John Santos, we had our reading for Bongga Kaday finally yesterday. It was nice to
Oh,
see him
nice.
again. Yeah, so we're gonna hopefully get back into the theater early next year. So that'll be amazing. I think that's a great step forward for live events and theater.
Ngayon pa lang tumatawa si Rika sa akin.
I can't. Rika. Parang may sarili kang mundo. May sariling timeline. Dapat yata meron tayo yung time zone, yung converter. So, Star Marjorie says, what made you jealous? One time nagselos ako. Tapos sabi niya, ilugar mo ang pagseselos mo. Kaya sabi ko sa kanya, nagseselos ako from Santa Rosa, Laguna! Ilugar.
Ay, lagay mo. Tama
Oo.
yan. Ako. I'm jealous from Ortigas Center, Pasig City!
Diba? Oscar de la Hopia says, what made you jealous? Pag nagsisend ka ng selfie sa iba, hinahayaan mo lang sa chat. Pero pag sa akin, removed agad after sent. Ay,
Hello?
I wonder why.
isa-send lang.
I wonder why.
Long enough for you to see the selfie
Mhm.
and then delete. Oh,
Well, madaming ganun ngayon. Those disappearing selfies.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Ay,
Yeah.
guys, si Rika, tumap out. Hindi
Oo
talaga
nga eh.
kaya.
Tap out. Mm-mm. And coming from Star Marjorie, what made you jealous? Kapag may tinatawag kang iha. Kasi doon tayo nagsimula eh.
Oh no.
So when you start calling somebody iha, medyo I get scared.
Actually, I have to admit, having dated somebody older, it did make me paranoid. And sometimes, feeling ko, parang, hindi naman, siguro more on parang father-daughter type relationship naman yung dating. Pero, yun nga, I used to take it the wrong way, na pinagseselosan ko, kasi parang feeling ko, ako din naman dapat parang father-daughter yung
Exactly.
age gap natin. Pero,
And look where we are.
exactly.
Right?
So, may point din naman na nagsiselos ka, di
Hala,
ba?
wala na rin si Marky. Ano nangyari?
Ano to?
Okay.
Boycott?
Oo nga, boycott. Jen Lo says, what made you jealous? Nagkakadol kayo ng fur baby mo, tapos papasok lang yung daddy niya sa room, iniwang ka na para pumunta sa daddy niya. Tapos kahit anong tawag mo, ayaw na niyang lumapit sa'yo.
Oh, parang si ano yan?
Well,
One of your dogs.
no, well, yeah.
Yung
pero,
gusto lang sa'yo.
but this
si
is
ano.
also Igor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ikaw din yung partial siya sa'yo, di ba?
Kasi like, he really sleeps on top of me. And ano nga, baby,
Kasi syempre ikaw yung daddy eh.
laging nagagalit na pag dumating ako, tapos sobrang nagwawala si Igor na pupunta kagad sa akin. Tapos sabi niya kay Igor, parang isa lang ang magulang mo ha. Nagagalit siya. Parang walang tao dito ha. Kasi talagang dinededma daw siya.
Kaya no?
No, because there was a time, for the longest time, nung kitten pa lang siya, kami yung natitira sa condo. So he kind of like grew up na, tapos matutulog siya sa chest ko. So nakasanayan lang.
Kulang
naman.
na lang ilabas mo yung nipple mo. Alam mo yung parang
Ay.
nang Para kang ano parang ikaw yung
Nanay.
nanay niya, nasa
Yeah.
chest mo pa, di ba?
Medj.
Oh my gosh, internet conked out like at the same
know,
time
right?
as you guys did.
It's
It's so
contagious.
weird.
Sabi namin, inaano kami, binoboycott kami ng team bahay.
Actually,
Isa-isa kaming
kanina,
iniwan.
yung interview natin with Tito Boy, yung nag-freeze siya.
Mm.
May mga nanloloko din on Facebook. Ay, si Tito Boy nakapiso na.
Right?
Nasa Cavite kasi. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also it must be, yun nga, baka weather related or I don't know.
Mm-mm.
It's just really been crazy lately.
And coming from Ate Sunshine, ako pinost sa IG story niya. Pero siya, sa IG feed mo.
Oh, wow.
Aww.
Pang ano ka lang, pang 24 hours.
Pang 24 hours ka lang. Yung isa, permanent.
Ang sakit.
Yeah, but you can archive that.
Well, yeah, but
But still,
oo,
nasa
still,
feed. Hindi ka feed worthy, gano'n.
Hindi ka feed worthy.
Ang kapal!
Diba?
Ba't ako nagagalit?
Oh, diba?
Kaya ako nagagalit.
I don't know.
Affected.
Kaya ako triggered dun sa response na yan.
And from Green and Jam, what made you jealous when my best friends haven't been in touch for quite some time and I see them hanging out with their new set of friends?
Oh,
You
yeah.
get jealous.
You know, I actually get jealous when it comes to friends.
Oh.
I do, but I don't say it.
Yeah, you don't verbalize it.
I don't verbalize it. So sometimes I lash out or
Yeah.
like I become bitchy or shady.
And they don't understand.
And they don't understand, but it's usually coming from a place of jealousy na
Yeah.
parang may iba kang friend. So let me hurt your feelings. Because I love you.
How
And you're
honest.
hurting me. So,
Ang
you know
hirap
what?
naman ang hirap naman na minamahal mo sila.
Let
Let me hurt you.
just a little, you know?
Just a little.
Just,
Mm-mm.
payback lang.
Just to
ganun.
get your attention.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the top, what made you jealous, comes from Mr. Yuzo and Star Marjorie.
They both say,
Mr. Yuzo says, last time I checked, ang beso-beso, hindi sa lips, walang tight hug with pelvic contact, at walang kurot sa puwet.
Purot sa puwet, wow!
Grabe yon, oh. Hindi na beso-beso
Iba
yun.
na yun, iba yun.
Iba yun. And from Star
Iba na
Marjorie,
yun.
what made you jealous? Nag-hire ka ng driver? Wala naman tayong kotse. So, anong
For what?
sinasakyan mo?
Ay.
Hala.
Ay. Patay tayo dyan.
Mhm.
Oh, what about you guys? Ako, sumagot na ako kanina. That was my answer.
Oh, Marky.
What made me jealous?
What made you jealous?
Ako ba't made me jealous kapag may fan na fina-follow?
Pag may?
Yung may fan siya na finollow, tapos ako niya ako fina-follow.
Oh. Yeah, parang why her?
Oo.
Why not me?
Yes.
Hmm.
I have a lot of entries for this, but like NSFW.
Ay,
The most. Yeah. I guess what made me jealous was when you left me to go to Europe by myself, and then you decided that you would go to another country when you told me you had work.
oh. Yeah. Parang,
That made me incredibly jealous.
oh, that's true. Minsan kahit wala nga
Right?
ibang tao, like you're jealous of the situation, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
Kahit wala kang kasamang iba, parang you're jealous because ikaw hindi ka napagbigyan pero yung trabaho napagbigyan. Medyo parang ganun.
Ang sakit naman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Alam mo, kaya ako yung sagot ko, very ano na lang, di ko na lang sinaktan yung sarili ko.
Oo.
Mababaw lang yung sagot ko. Pero meron talaga akong sagot na mas masakit eh.
Yung mas masakit.
Yung malalim talaga. Sige, sasabihin ko na lang in case nakikinig.
Sige,
O,
sige.
para ano, di ba? Para
game.
alam niya naman na nasaktan talaga ako.
Pangalanan mo na rin.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, sige.
When you started living the life that I thought we would with another person.
Oh, especially if it's a
Oh.
little too close to what you planned to do.
Yes, like
Yeah.
taking steps we never got to take
Yeah.
with that person.
Mm-mm.
When we all know that, that
And
should be me.
and how
Joke lang.
you're now parking your car in somebody else's garage.
When we all know that my garage is so much more exciting.
Yeah, it's a perfect fit.
I
Yeah.
know. Ay, nako. Anyway,
Exactly.
But thank you for joining us today.
thank you so much, you guys.
That's a weekend. Yeah.
It's the weekend, and all the Pokemon Switch players. The new expansion Crown Tundra just came out today.
Awesome.
So download that.
Yay!
We'll
Thank you
see
for
you guys
joining.
again on Monday, but I'll be back for the hit list tonight. Catch you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.